Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Tarask, and today I'm going to be playing some more 5-color elementals in Modern. So getting into the deck list. So the Astrolabe ban happened recently, well, kind of recently, and since then I've noticed two kind of changes in the metagame. So one is an uptick in prowess, and one is an uptick in blood moon. So what we've done to the deck list because of that is Smoke Braider has gone from 3 copies to 1, and so Unsettled Mariner now 4 copies, and Voice of Resurgence 3 copies. So in addition to Smoke Braider being awful against prowess just because they can lava dart it, gut shot it, whatever, also Mariner is really great against them for those same reasons. So also in the 3-drop slot here, there are now 3 copies of Incandescent Soulstoke. I've played around with this card for a while, and a lot of the other guys in the Discord have been using this to pretty good success, so I figured I'd try it again, and it's been working really well. So it helps against Plague Engineer, it helps against Blood Moon, and it also to an extent helps against big mana because it can recur Thunderkin Awakener can recur Fulminator Mage, and so because of that, it's a kind of just game against Tron, Amulet, whatever. So yeah, it's been good, and then versus Blood Moon, its activated ability is pretty good. So it can put in any elemental creature, so including Wispmare, which we now have 1 copy of in the sideboard. So using red mana, we can use Harbinger to find Wispmare, then tap Soulstoke to put in Wispmare, and there goes the Blood Moon, or of course if it's Magus of the Moon, then we can Spite Ballast it. So I feel like we're pretty well prepared against those 2 decks. But, you know, Prowess is still there. I mean, I would say both Prowess and the red-green mid-range deck are both not great matchups. So we'll see if we face either of them and how we do. So I normally play a 1 of Fulminator in the main deck, but I figure I don't want the 3-drop slot to be too crowded, so I moved the 1 Fulminator to the sideboard, and so hopefully that won't kind of mess up our Tron matchup or what. Usually it's not so bad, so usually it's actually very good. Yeah, so those are the changes to the deck, and I'll see you in round 1. Alright, here in round 1, our opponent took a mulligan, we're on the draw, and no lands, so we'll have to join them on the 6. This hand is not great, but I think I'm going to go ahead and keep it. It has the potential to be quite good, so. Interesting choice here. I think I'm going to put back the unclaimed territory, just because if we kind of, the Fiery Islet is a little bit of flood insurance, so do it like that. See how it goes. See what we're up against. Okay, it's Blood Crypt into Inquisition, so could be a lot of things, but let's see what they pick. It's definitely an interactive deck, we know that now. Probably going to take the Awakener if I had to guess. But they take the Lightning Skelemental, so that, you know, it's implied that they have cheap spot removal for the Awakener when we play it, so we'll try to play around that. Vesper Lark, very good draw here. I think I'll lead on the Cavern of Souls. Right. Perhaps the second turn will give us a better idea. So they go Bloodstained Mire. Looks like they're passing. So they're at 4 cards in hand. I think I'm just going to play a land and pass. I think the Inquisition taking Skelemental, big tell that they do have removal, and we could go Awakener into the removal and then try to Vesper Lark it back and fade the second piece of removal, but I'm just not going to play into that at all. I'm just going to pass the turn. Next turn we can play a Risen Reef and maybe get it back with Vesper Lark and get some Awakener stuff going on. There's a Steam Vents and a Thought Scour targeting them. Okay, the Marsh Flats, it kind of shows that it is Grixis Death Shadow, because it's just all black fetches. And then, of course, the Grixis colors. Right, they continue taking damage, and it's, oh wow, Young Pyromancer. Usually don't see that. Perhaps maybe it's not, or maybe that's just an inclusion in the deck. Who knows? So, if this is a Lightning Bolt, then that lines up pretty well with Risen Reef. but if it's a fatal push, because they do seem to be base black, they of course could have both, but if it's a fatal push, then the Risen Reef actually dodges it. And yeah, I think I like this, and especially if we're able to ramp with this Risen Reef trigger, then we're in some really good shape for next turn. But if not, we're still drawing a card. We're still going up a card if they do have a spot removal for the Reef. Okay, they do cast Fatal Push, but they do not have Revolt, so this is not going to destroy the Risen Reef. Kind of a punt by our opponent, but does get them an elemental. Not completely wasting the Fatal Push. Cycle Street Wraith, okay, so I am still leaning towards the idea that they are a Death Shadow deck. Alright, they move to combat and just get him with the elemental. We'll take it, go to 18. And they just pass the turn back, so could be representing a lot of things. They could have like a Snapcaster plus Fatal Push. They could have a Kolaghan's Command, or maybe something that's just 2 mana, not mana efficient. Since we're kind of assuming that they have some sort of interaction, I think it's best just to play the second Reef. Snap Push does nothing against this. Okay. And we are going to have 5 mana next turn. Not going to offer the trade at the Pyromancer. Next turn we'll really be able to pop off, and looks like they just pick it up. Okay, so Grixis Death Shadow. So normally I take out Shriekmaw, but since we saw Young Pyromancer, I think I'm going to keep it in. The main deck Soul Stokes are going to be great, especially because I'm anticipating a Plague Engineer. I think I am going to, well, I'm definitely going to bring in the Spite Bellows because I normally do. I'll take out Smoke Braider, and I do like to bring in one Healer of the Glade, just to kind of throw off some combat math. And I guess I'll just take out a Voice of Resurgence, and we'll run it like that. This hand looks great. It's got a Vial and a 2-drop and our top end. So they, of course, can discard or Stubborn. They'll probably take out the Stubborn Denials, but they could discard the Vial, and that'll make this hand definitely worse, but not unplayable. And they just go Cycle Street Raids, Bloodstained Mire, and pass. So I guess if they did keep in Stubborn Denial, they can really get us here. However, if we can get this Mariner to stick, then K-Command is really not a concern, because that's gonna, well, I guess if they return a creature, then it's only 4 mana, but any other modes, then it's gonna be 5. And they fetch Steam Vents untapped, and looks like, yeah, Thought Scour. Could see an Angler from them. Angler, really not a big deal. We'll take a hit and then be able to Spite Bellows it on the next turn. Continuing to cantrip. They could also play Death Shadow. If they shock, they'll go down to 12 and play a 1/1. It's Blood Crypt. And just Thoughtseize. Wow, okay. So probably taking Mariner. I think that's the best pick. Kind of messes up our tempo. They agree, and they do take the Mariner. Still, lots of good draws here. Land is great, and anything under the 3 mana is also great, which is most of our deck. So we do draw a land. Not going to show them that we drew a land immediately, but We will be playing that next turn. So we're pretty insulated versus a potential engineer. We have 3 ways to kind of deal with it. We can kill it with these 2, or we can just pump our team. Alright, there's Death Shadow. It's 3/3. And they're holding up a steam vents, so not sure what they're representing as far as permission goes, because I am planning on spite bellowsing it now before it gets out of range. So, yeah. I suppose if they dismember the spite bellows with the evoke on the stack, then that would save their Death Shadow. However, I think I'm... Actually, so yeah, this is the first step. So I could try to spite bellows, try to kill it, and slow them down, but if it just stays a 3/3, it's really not applying too much pressure. I suppose if they have... That was their turn 3, so they did miss their land drop. So it's not guaranteed that it's... Well, it wouldn't otherwise, but it's not likely that they're going to grow it to be super big. I'm kind of tempted just to run out the Risen Reef, but they are holding this up, which is a little concerning. I think I'm just gonna try to play it safe. If they spend a dismember on my spite bellows, I think I'm okay with that. They do let it go. Thought scour themselves, and just, there we go. Alright. 1 Death Shadow down, 2 more in the graveyard, so 1 left in the deck, as well as I'm assuming 4 Gurmag Anglers and some amount of Young Pyromancer. Alright, there's an Angler, so it looks like the Shadow was just bait for the Angler, or bait for the Spite Bellows, and then they can play Angler, but I'm really not worried about this. This Elemental deck can produce pretty much as many chump blockers as we want. So they really need Teamer Battle Rage plus multiple attackers to really get through us. So I'm going to start with the Risen Reef. See what we draw first. And Unsettled Mariner. Okay, that's a good draw. We could just play out the Skelemental and try to use it just as a Mind Rot. Yeah, I suppose that's probably good, just because it's kind of unlikely that the 4th Death Shadow is in their hand. And then next turn we'll have the Mariner to interrupt the a command of some sort to potentially rebuy it. So I think I'm going to try just for the Skelemental. If we draw the healer, we're punished for tapping like that, but otherwise we're fine. It's 1 in 48 chance. Right, they respond to the Reef trigger by bolting the Skelemental. That's great. We traded 0 cards and 3 mana for 1 card and 1 mana, which I think is fine in this situation, especially considering our Reef is staying alive. And we'll take the hit from the Angler and see what they have left. Alright, they get to slam their Plague Engineer. So this Omnath is going to be able to take care of that. So this turn, I think I'm going to take this up to 4 and then go Mariner, Mariner, Omnath. And then next turn we'll be able to Soulstoke and really pressure their life total. And I'm gonna play the land after the Omnath to then pump it for to make it bolt proof for like a snap bolt or something. So even if they do kill something, which they can't because of the Mariners, then it would still deal 2 damage. Right, there goes the Engineer. Play the land, put the counter on the Omnath, and pass the turn. Right, they cling to dust their own fetch land to just cycle it, draw a card. Just because we don't have any non-creatures in our graveyard right now. Alright, what's nice about this position is even if they have a second Plague Engineer, then it's still not going to be that impactful. Inquisition of Kozilek-us, so they're going to be able to take the Soul Stoke, but that's going to take 3 mana, and we'll be able to draw off these Canopy lands and look for some more gas. Right, I think they're forced to keep this Angler back on defense because otherwise we're a land drop away from dealing lethal damage to them. However, this also means if we find a Vesperlark or another Risen Reef, and we hit 2 land drops, then we can make this Omnath a 6/6 and force them to chump pretty much. Okay, so because right, so there's no more 4-drops in the deck, so I am going to tick it up to 5 because I did not sideboard out the shriekmaw. Shriekmaw is obviously horrible here because it has to target one of our own things, but and the Spite Bellows is in the graveyard, but I do have a second Spite Bellows in the deck, so I am going to tick it up to 6 next turn. There's an Aether Vial, not doing much here. Sacrifice the Canyon. Flamekin Harbinger, okay. So what I think I like doing here is just playing the Vial and passing, and then next turn, if we find that we need something, we can upkeep, tap the Vial to put in the Harbinger and look for something. But right now, I'm content just sitting here. They only have 1 card left in hand, and they really need to get things together to be able to beat what we have on board right now. Oh, okay. They did find their 4th Death Shadow. Probably not going to be a super big deal still. Let's see if they attack with this Angler. And they do, okay. So that could mean that their last card is a Temur Battle Rage. They have had a card stuck in their hand for a while. However, if it is Temur Battle Rage, then I can just try to take lethal from them. So I'm going to take the hit here. Next turn we'll have Harbinger as a chump blocker. Okay, so we're going to take both vials up. And we also have the option to just wait and take our draw step because we do have this Islet to draw a card. I don't want to get anything that interacts with our graveyard because they do have a Cling to Dust active. And that'll also gain them 3 life, so it's possible that, yeah, I'm just going to take my draw step. Wow, Risen Reef, very, very good draw there. So I'm going to play out the Reef. And now we have Harbinger into second Spite Bellows at instant speed here. Awakener is great for next turn. Just gonna pass it back. And let's see what they have here. Oh, it did, yeah, it's just gonna be Cling to Dust. Right, they target our Canyon just to draw a card. Cycle Street Writ, the shadow is getting bigger. If they can grow it to bigger than a 6/6, then we're going to be in a little bit of trouble. But if not, then I think we're going to be able to take it. Because if they Teamer Battle Rage the Death Shadow, the first strike is going to go through, kill our Spybellas that we get from the Harbinger, and we'll be able to deal the 6 damage, so it won't deal the regular damage. Okay, so they play Young Pyromancer. That's really not a big deal. Not going to do much here. Let's see how they attack. It's going to be with both, so that being as aggressive as it is, I'm going to assume that they have Teamer Battle Rage, because we can play around it. It's not like, okay, if they have it, I'm dead. So don't play around it. We can survive. So first I'm going to do Harbinger into Spite Bellows. Right, and if they do have an interactive spell, then these, oh, we get a trigger here as well. If they do have an interactive spell, it does have to be 1 mana to get around the Mariners. Where this is going is kind of interesting. I think I'm going to do it on the Spite Bellows here. Okay, so now we'll move to blocks. Let's go here. And maybe it would be better to... No, I think this is fine. Okay, so right now, if they Teamer Battle Rage the Gurmag Angler, then I will die. I would take 9. So we have to cover that up. So now if they Teamer Battle Rage the Gurmag Angler, we would take 7. If they Teamer Battle Rage the Death Shadow, then it would deal 4 to us. Spite Bellows trigger kill it. Yeah, I think this is where we want to be. And they can't have Teamer Battle Rage plus removal spell or anything, just because of the Mariners in play right now. Right, so they are casting Teamer Battle Rage on Death Shadow. So if they have another Street Wraith or... Okay, well they've used all 4 Street Wraiths. If they have a Dismember, some way to lose life, but otherwise, yeah. First strike's going to go through. We get to the trigger on the Death Shadow. Let's see if they can pump it. They cannot. And the Gurmag just eats those. Right, they pass the turn. We survived that one. Aether Vial is going to tick up to 2, and this Aether Vial is dead, so it doesn't matter what we tick it up to. Okay, Harbinger, perfect. Alright, I'm going to start by vialing in the Awakener. I'm going to plan to get Skelemental back. Looks like they F6'd as well. And there's the concession. Right, so we just played around the Battle Rage pretty well, I think, and we were able to get there. It's kind of an okay matchup. It's definitely not horrible. And we did fight through the Plague Engineer as well, so yep, there it is. Okay, match 2 here. We won the die roll this time. And another no-lander. We'll have to mulligan. 1 land. Yep, not feeling great about this, especially because we're on the play. I don't think we can keep 1-landers like this. So go to 5. And well, I'm not gonna go to 4, I'll tell you that. So I'll just put back these 2 lands. Yeah, I think I just want the 1 islet. And yeah, they kept their 7. Not optimistic about the outcome of this game, but it does happen. Alright, Mountain into Soulscar Mage. So it's going to be a prowess variant. Probably mono red, but not going to generalize immediately. I think I'm going to run out the Awakener just to potentially bait out a removal spell in order to get this elemental through. Yeah, game one of this matchup is already not very good. The Healer of the Glades and the sideboard are really what helps it out. So Islet, it could mean blue-red or it could just mean mono-red and they're playing Fiery Islet. There's the Bolt on the Awakener, so unless they have a gut shot, this elemental is going to be able to get through. And we'll take 4 damage, go to 16, 15 off the Islet. Will be reduced to 2 cards. That's definitely all they need. Yeah, drew the one of the worst cards in this matchup, the Smoke Braider, but not a huge deal. We still have plenty of cards to draw to get us out of this. Right. Especially if they start pointing burn at our face next turn in order to trigger the prowess on their turn, then okay, they drop a land and a Soulscar Mage. The Wooded Foothills makes me more inclined to believe that this is blue-red prowess instead of mono-red. I'm not sure if the mono-red plays any fetches, but I don't think they do. And mutagenic growth especially is a big tell that it's blue-red because they play that on turn 2 to be able to trigger the Stormwing entity. And there it is, yep, Stormwing. So that's going to make this game even harder. That's a very good card. And they're going to get in for 6 damage. We'll take it, go to 9. They go 1 top, 1 bottom. So well, I suppose we're not immediately dead. So we're going to go to 8. So they did put it on top, so we are going to be dead to any non-creature spell that's 2 mana or less. However, can't really picture how we're winning this game if we don't do anything this turn. Just gonna hope that there's a light up stage. Just gonna hope they kept. Oh, also if they drew a light up the stage, then that sort of helps us survive. But it's a lava dart, and that's gonna end the game. Okay, the Healer of the Glades are gonna come in as well as the Spite Bellows, and I'll bring in the Wismare if we see Blood Moon, but I won't immediately do it right now, especially because we are running the Soul Stokes. Are gonna cut I think one of those, Smoke Braider, and then 2 Voice. I think is where I'm at. Yep, this looks good. Right, hopefully we won't have to mulligan to 5. This is definitely a risky hand. I don't think it's one I'm going to keep. If I draw immediately a 5-color land to kill their 1-drop, then it starts to become a little better. Or perhaps if I draw another one and on the next turn and I'm able to, well, I kind of like that because if I do draw a land, then I'll be able to evoke shriekmaw and copy it with the phantasmal image, leaving a 3/2. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep this hand. It has a high enough upside. I could definitely see why you would want to mulligan this hand, though. Right, they mulligan to 6. Good sign, I suppose. Gonna play out the vial. If they do destroy this vial, though, with an abrade or something similar, then we're in some pretty hot water. But it's already a pretty poor matchup in my opinion, so can't play around everything. And there's a land. No 1-drop from them. I can only assume that a Stormwing is going to be coming down next turn. So yeah, I'll pass for now. If we do draw a 3rd land, then we can perhaps double Skelemental them if they don't got shot this Skelemental in response to the Vial activation. Looks like they're just going to opt here. Yep, opt. And they scry to the top. So let's see what we're up against here. Wooded Foothills pass. Wow, kind of a slow start for them, which really favors us because if we stumbled on our lands and then it would have really been pretty bad for us. So because they're representing, well, they're representing pretty much everything in their deck, I think I'm just going to play up the Soul Stoke. I don't think that one Soul Stoke is really that important. I think we can just throw it out there, and if they try to Burst Lightning it, I will Phantasmal Image it to make it a 3/3 and force the second card from them. However, if it's just a Lightning Bolt, I'll let it go. And that's what it is. Right, they go find their Steam Vents. And let's see what they've got for us this turn. They do play out... Oh, wow, they're just passing again. They could have kept like a Kozilek's Return hand and expected us to kind of be aggressive, maybe. I think this turn is... I'm going to start with the Skelemental. And in response to a Lava Dart, I'll Vial in the Soul Stoke. If they have a second Bolt or something that does 2 damage on the Soul Stoke, then it is what it is. But I am going to try to get in. There's a dart. Oh, also what would be pretty bad is if they stomped the Soul Stoke. Okay, they just abrade the Soul Stoke, so that's, in my opinion, better for us than if they just abrade the Vial. Having an active Vial is just super important for us. Let's see if they deploy a threat here. Nope, just passing back. I'm almost tempted to tick this Vial up to 5, but I think right now I'm going to keep it at 3. I think it's time to sacrifice Canopy Land. Flamekin Harbinger. So we have a lot of options here, but what I'm worried about is, we get a Risen Reef and then instantly gets Lava Darted. Because nothing's, I think we can afford to wait, is what I'm saying. Depending on what they do, we might sack the Islet on their end step, we might not. Playing this game super slow. As in, the pace of their deck, not clockwise. So yeah, I'll sacrifice this. And another Vial, so I think I can start ticking this one up to 5. I think an instant speed shriekmaw is going to be super good. There's this Vial, and yeah, I'll just pass back. I think I'm happy at least to keep drawing cards. I don't think we need to force any action here. There's an Opt. Opt on the bottom. And Storming Entity. This is perfect for us. They go 1 top, 1 bottom. Okay, so I'll tick both of these Vials up. We'll get to Vial in a Shriekmaw on the Entity. And get in for 7 damage, make them discard 2. Yep, so let's start with the Shriekmaw. And in case they have a Kozilek's Return or something, I'm not going to Harbinger, I'm going to keep it up. Really no benefit to Phantasmal Imaging the Awakener, so They just won't. Right, get in for 7 here. I suppose they could sacrifice their steam vents, but that seems really kind of loose. Okay, they do have a gut shot. However, just because the Awakener isn't killed, they have to find an answer for it now before next turn. Just because this elemental never gets exiled, it's going to come right back next turn. Manamorphose, okay. And a Sprite Dragon. Not super worried about that right now. Lightning Bolt targeting the Awakener. Yeah, that seems fine. And they're going to get in for 2. So I'm going to find a Risen Reef with this Harbinger, and then violin the image to copy the Risen Reef. Again, they could Lava Dart the Reef in response, but we'll see. We might just hold up the vial and wait on it. Right, and because we don't have any 5-drops left, I'll take this up to 6. Right, there's the Reef. Right, and they are going for the Flashback Lava Dart now in response to this Reef trigger, so that does give us an opportunity to Phantasmal Image it and look for land plus Vesperlark, or, oh, well, there's a Vesperlark, and a Reef, okay. Harbinger is great. Not sure I want to play it out right now. Well, perhaps. Just to get a Spite Bellows, because then they're at 13. Yeah, I'll try that. Just because we have all of this other gas next turn, it's not like we'll be able to be mana efficient both turns. And I'm going to put it in now just so they can't respond to it by killing the Reef. I definitely want this card. There's a 3rd land. And Spite Bellows really kind of helps against Kozilek's return, because then it'll kill the Sprite Dragon. Hopefully, unless it gets bigger than an 8/8. Alright. It's definitely getting up there. However, they do need to do something. Either I don't think they can kill us this turn. Famous last words, but there's a Bedlam Reveler. That's pretty good. But they are discarding 2 cards. 2 Soulscar Mages. Wonder why they didn't play 1 out. I wonder what they're... Okay, well, they just concede. Alright. Did not see a Blood Moon, so I think I'm okay keeping the Wispmare out. Especially, we have 2 Soul Stokes, and then we have a good amount of red cards. The Spite Bellows Thunderkin Awakener plan is usually pretty good in this matchup, so the fact that we can cast it under a Blood Moon is pretty good, and of course we have Aether Vials. So we'll run it back. Are on the draw here, which is kind of worse, but Healer of the Glade really makes up for the play draw difference. Alright, so we got Vial and Healer of the Glade. This hand looks fantastic. Feeling real confident about this. Of course, there are a million prowess hands that can beat this hand, but I do like our chances here. There's a Swift Spear, okay. Yeah, a braid on the vial as well would be pretty rough. We did see a braid last game. It's Manamorphose. This could be into a Stormwing. That would be pretty good for them. Into a second Manamorphose, okay. And there's the Abrade on the vial. So pretty rough shape, but they did not have the second creature, which I'm feeling better about. Oh, okay, another Ziggurat is pretty good. So now I'm going to Harbinger for a Spite Bellows and then play out the healer and attempt to jump. Alright, they move to attacks and attack with this. I'm 100% going to block with the healer of the glade. Force the hand on them. And we can get it back with Vesperlark, and then we have the loop where get back healer with Vesperlark, and then get back Vesperlark with Awakener. End of turn, Vesperlark goes, get back healer. They do have 2 mana up and 3 cards. They didn't play another threat, so I'm just going to Spite Bellows and pass. They really need to get some creatures going, and if I can neutralize that, I will. Alright, they sack the Islet. That's a good sign for us. That shows that they don't have what they need. And they do find what they need in Swift Spear, though, which is fine. Okay, so let me run out the Awakener. If they bolt in our main phase, we can get it back. Some people make that mistake. And if they don't have removal at all, we're going to get back to Spite Bellows. And looks like they're going to try to double Lava Dart it. Oh, Lava Dart plus Cut Shot, okay. So, yeah, if you're... don't kill it during our main phase, because now I can Vesperlark it back. And they cannot double Lava Dart it now. They only have 1 mountain. If that last card they have is a Gut Shot, then they can do it, but here I'm almost tempted just to bring back the healer of the glade, go get back Vesperlark and then get back healer, because if we get back the Spite Bellows, kill that, and they just have I guess we're both in top deck mode. However, they do have the Windmill Slam of Bedlam Reveler. We could also get back Harbinger to jump and go get something. However, Spite Bellows puts on such a big clock. I think I'll go for the healer. We're at 13. Kind of want to play it safe here, and that Swift Spear isn't doing a whole lot because it won't be able to get through that healer. Right, end of turn, Vesperlark at sacrifice, get back healer. Yeah, this play is feeling better to me. And of course, nothing's preventing us from next turn getting the Spite Bellows. There's the Bedlam Reveler. Now see, if we did get Spite Bellows, killed the Swift Spear, they would have been able to Bedlam Reveler. They probably have at least 1 removal spell in their hand now. Okay. Still can't double Lava Dart. We'll take the 1 damage from Sprite Dragon. Healer's fine. I'm going to sack this. Okay. So yep, I will get the Spite Bellows back now. and kill this Reveler. Hopefully that's not another Reveler. Wow, no blocks on... I feel like the Reveler block on the Awakener is kind of free. I was willing to trade. Okay, we'll just play out the healer, and since we've got things kind of gummed up on the ground, I wonder if it's better to go after the Sprite Dragon. However, I don't know, if it's a Kozilek's return, then both of these stay alive, but Bedlam Reveler deals more damage, so I'm just gonna kill it here. All three of them would survive, excuse me. Because they could Lava Dart and then... sack their Islet, okay. Soulscar Mage, good sign. Not a Bedlam Reveler. Swift Spear, okay, that's good. Steam Vents, and that's their last card. Okay, so they can Devil Dart us, or Devil Dart the Awakener, that's what they're going for. And they'll be able to get in for 9 damage here. However, we have so many live draws, I'm not super worried about this, especially if they're attacking with all 3, then I think that means Skelemental's lethal. I'm not sure if that would be 8 minus 2. No, they'd get put to 1, but... Oh, okay. They're just gonna keep it at there, which is fine. Yeah, I'll jump with 1. I'll take 4, go to 14. Another Thunderkin, very good draw. Actually, not so great, because they can dart this one and to neutralize it. So let's sack the Islet. Phantasmal Image. So, I think that's good for next turn, unless they have a very good top deck. I think we'll still be able to... because now we can jump with this Awakener. What they should do is wait for us to attack, because then it's no longer a legal target, I think. We'll be able to kill it. I guess it's not really doing much as an 0-1, but... Alright, and we'll just pass turn back. They're just moving to combat. Could be light up the stage. I'm gonna keep 1 Awakener back. Well, actually, I can just take this. Yeah, I like this. Just because if we draw an Incandescent Soulstoke, which I think we have 2. Yeah, we have 2 left. Okay, looks like it was a light. Oh, wow, it was just a land. So yeah, looks like we're gonna be able to do it. There's a Skelemental. Yeah, I'll just run that out. No Lava Darts in the graveyard. This is a close match, yeah. If that was a Bedlam Reveler or... Yeah, wow, close game. Alright, match 3 on the play again. And we have another hand with lands and Vial and creatures. Exactly what we're looking for. So we will keep. Mariner, I think, is our best 2-drop, so even better. I think that's what I'm going to reveal to the Primal Beyond. I think them knowing about the Mariner is better for us than taking the 1 off of the Canyon. We go Vantage into Goblin Guide, so burn. Very fun matchup for me, at least. And we are drawing a Harbinger for the potential Eidolon of the Great Revel, which is a good sign. So yep, this Canyon is, well, first off, I'm glad I played this before the Canyon, but also, oh wow, if they are stuck on 1 land, this Mariner is going to be very, very strong. And we draw a land, and there's a Vial on top. So do I want to draw that Vial? I wonder. You know what? I think I do not. So I'm going to chump with a Harbinger, go find a Spite Bellows. So now we'll be taking 2, going to 15, draw the Spite Bellows, tap, go down to 14, Spite Bellows, kill one of the Goblin Guides, put an Awakener, kill the other Goblin Guide. So they're going to need to draw a land to be able to remove the Mariner, and we're already so far ahead at this point. I'll attack with the Mariner as well, and we're going to be putting them down to 11. Kill the Guide, and let's see what they got. Don't draw land, but they drew a Seal of Fire, so that can kill the Mariner next turn, or perhaps the Awakener. However, we dealt 9 damage. Okay, alright, there's the game. Very fast game 1. Between them getting stuck on lands, us having a Mariner, and then the Spite Bellows plus Awakener, that went very well. Normally game 1 of the burn matchup is a lot more difficult because we don't have any main deck life gain, at least not in this build, I don't. So, yeah, I think I'll go down to 1 Soul Stoke and keep in 2 Voices, because the Voices can block Goblin Guides pretty well. And then the Healers and Spite Bellows. And yeah, the 1 Soul Stoke I like having, just because Soul Stoke plus Awakener can get back Healer, gain some life there, and shriekmaw. Okay, great hand, Vial plus Healer, except no lands, so mulligan it back. This hand is, yeah, very good. I like this hand a lot. I'm tempted to put back the Risen Reef, just because, well, maybe it's better to put back the Skelemental. I think it's one or the other. I think I want to keep the 3 lands, and having the 1 and 2 I think is very good. I think I'll put back the Skelemental. I think depending on what our draw is, will change the Harbingers. It could be a Spite Bellows, or it could be a Healer of the Glade. Just depends on what we see from them and what we draw. Mountain into Guide, okay. See if we draw a land. Yep, we do, nice. I'm pretty lucky on those. And another land, plenty of land. So I'm playing the Harbinger. I think I'll go get shriekmaw, just because if they do have the turn 2 Eidolon, I want to be on curve shriekmaw into reef. And if they don't, then I can just play out the voice. Right, we're of course not drawing the shriekmaw from the guide. And Grim Lavamancer. Okay, so between Grim Lavamancer and Seal of Fire, this is making me think more that this is a Chandra's Incinerator build. So I'm not even sure they have Eidolon of the Great Revel. Maybe I've just been playing around. Regardless, I think it's still correct to play the voice here. Grim Lavamancer isn't doing anything right now, especially because they only have 1 land. They could go like fetch land into Bolt, activate Grim Lavamancer. That would be pretty bad for us, but that's a lot that needs to happen. Seal of Fire, okay. And attack with the guide. I'm going to snap off the trade here. Easiest trade ever. This is fueling their Lavamancer, but now I'm kind of tempted to evoke the Shriekmaw on the Lavamancer. Especially, yeah, we'll get to play the Aether Vial as well. I think I'll go for that. And next turn, we'll get a pretty good follow-up. Because if they do start drawing lands, the Lavamancer is going to have to be removed eventually. It will take over the game if it has enough food. We'll get in for hopefully 3. Maybe they'll seal. Nope. They could also go land, bolt, incinerator. Okay, that would have been a pretty good punish for me shriekmawing the lavamancer. Goblin Guide really helping us out. As many lands as we could possibly need here. Image, okay. I think I'm gonna save the Risen Reef for that now. Yeah, I'll just pass back. Hopefully, so I'll definitely block with the Elemental. That could incentivize them to Seal of Fire the Harbinger to save the Goblin Guide, but we'll see. Okay, they just bolt the Elemental. See what we reveal here. And another land, okay. If these guides weren't here, we would be much worse off. I think I can take the 2, go down to 12. Well, actually no, because this opens us up to a Vesper Lark. Yes. Okay, so they might respond to the first reef trigger, and if they do, we will of course. Oh well, they're just letting us. Doesn't seem like they're interested in removing our creatures. Okay, plenty of mana. It's possible I should have played the Islet, but I just don't want to take the 1 off of tapping for a Vial. And I will take the 2 next turn. Hopefully between 2 draws, so 1 and then the Islet will be... Hopefully we can find something to do. Skewer us, okay. Down to 9. We do have 3 healers left in our deck, so I'm still feeling good about this game. Perfect. See? Now we have all this mana, and now we just get to kind of go off. I'm going to play the Islet first in case they seal, then I can sack in response. And potentially vial something in, but nope. Okay, so now all of our things are seal proof, so, well, I'll play out the second one. So now even if they draw land, they can't target us with anything. There's a Skelemental, and this should be close to game. I'll be able to get a healer off of the Harbinger, and there's one already. Back up to 12. Them keeping a 1-lander in both games is, especially when they saw Mariner, I don't know, but maybe it was good enough to warrant it. Maybe they did have the turn 2 Incinerator, and unless they, excuse me, unless they, if they do draw land. So I'm gonna get back, all right, and there's that. So kind of abnormal games. Usually the burn matchup isn't that easy, but it is quite good in my opinion. I've very rarely lost any post-board games versus burn. If you you just have to play correctly and know what usually Eidolon is really the only problem, or in this case Incinerator, Lavamancer, and healers acting as 2 cards, a bolt plus a chump block is very important, and then of course having 4 Mariners in this list definitely helps. Okay, double vial hand, Harbinger image. I think we've got all we need here. Of course, depending on what our opponent is on, that might change what we Harbinger for. If they force negation this, I would very much enjoy that. Okay, they don't. Snow-covered mountain, induce Soulscar Mage. Lots of red decks. Luckily, we're in pretty good shape against them. Alright, so depending on how many cards they play out, we might go for a double Skelemental. Okay, this is blue-red, so maybe not just because of the threat of gut shot. Luckily, we'll be able to chump away this 4 damage here. Let's see how they scry. 1 top, 1 bottom. I think double reef is what I'm interested in doing here. It's still bad against... Yeah, it's still bad against gut shot, but less so in my opinion, because we do get the card off of it. Okay, so I'm going to play the reef. Trigger here. And 2 images, nice. And I was about to say, if they did gut shot, then we can still image the entity if we want, or we can hold it in our hand. I would probably copy the entity. And no 1-drop, but plenty of good cards here. Hopefully they can't do too much damage here. Manamorphose is definitely a good start for them. And there's a Sprite Dragon, okay. Lava Dart on the Risen Reef, pretty good. If they flash it back, they can get in for 3, 9, 13, put us to 7. Okay, so on our upkeep, I might copy the Stormwing entity. I am a little worried about a second dart, though. That would hurt the image for sure. Yeah, I'll try it. I'll try it out. And it is an elemental. Not that that's incredibly relevant, but it's fine. Okay, so definitely want the reef. The voice, it doesn't really do anything except chump block the Soulscar Mage, so I'm going to bottom this and top this. Right. Oh, okay, we drew a voice anyways. Don't super love going down to 6, but that might just be where I'm at. And I can image entity again, get a reef trigger and a scry too. That's kind of fun. Let's try that. Put some more flying blockers in. Again, Lava Dart blows us out, but I think that's not something I can afford to play around right now. Well, Lava Dart plus Mountain. Oh, I think I stacked those wrong. Okay, so I do want both of these eventually. Can't really do anything with them right now. I think I'll just play out the voice. I think I'm just interested in, yeah, in chumping. And I'll pass back. So they need several spells to kill us. Yeah, well, just 2. There's Bolt, Bolt us. Yeah, that probably means they have it. Yep. Targeting us, yes. Okay, so healers and spike billows come in, just like last time. Take out that, and 2 of these. And we're ready to go again. Okay, mulligan the no-lander. And this seems fine, yeah. I'll put back an Awakener. I'll keep the 3 lands. Okay, put this back. And yeah, I don't think this is a great hand, but it's definitely fine. Spire Bluff and Soul Scar. Okay. I don't think that one's gonna get a shriekmaw, but I think I'll wait until their turn 2. They might have a entity, which I would much rather shriekmaw. Okay, and they attack. Really interesting. So, yeah, I definitely can't block. Because even if they do have a light up the stage, they probably also have an instant speed thing. So there it is. So I can't just afford to get punished like that. And they do have a second land already in their hand. So they do just pass though. Lava Dart and Flame Slash not doing much on only one land. Healer of the Glade's great here. So, yeah, I think I'll Shriekmaw it now. Well, actually no, because I do have the Healer of the Glade. Yeah, I have the Healer to chump, so I think I'm fine just waiting on it. I'll play out the Awakener now, just in case we draw Spite Bellows, I can do that in the same turn. Go to 22. And I'll attack with both. Yeah. I'm not planning on blocking with either of these creatures, so might as well attack. If I draw another land, I might be more inclined to wait to hardcast the Shriekmaw. However, sacking Islet might be something I have to do next turn. There's the third land. Flame Slash on the Mariner. I'm gonna pay the one with the basic mountain. And they'll probably play out that Lava Dart on our Awakener now, just to get it out of their exile zone. This is their last turn to play it. Nope, they're just gonna bolt the Awakener. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna sack the Islet, and if we don't draw anything, I can just... Yeah, I'll play out the Vial. I don't think this is gonna do too much damage next turn. However, yeah, if they have an entity, this is the turn that they would play it, because last turn they needed to remove the Unsettled Mariner. Opt on the bottom. And there's the entity, okay. They go one top, one bottom. Harbinger is a good draw, yeah. I'm just gonna kill the entity. Well, I'm a little scared of just getting Reef with Harbinger, just because a Lava Dart blows us out that bad. However, they are going down in cards. This opt might have been what they topped with the entity. And they top with the opt as well. So let's see how much damage they get in for here. I don't think I'm going to block. I don't think this deck plays Crash Through, so I can always just block next turn. Yep, so keeping up what I can only expect is removal, but we do get a couple draws. Well, just one, aside from the Reef. Yeah, I kind of think Reef is, well, actually, perhaps Spite Bellows is better. It does, because if we get Spite Bellows, then any future draws of Vesper Lark or Awakener get that much better. Yeah, I kind of like that more. Because there's no way they don't have, if they don't have anything in their hand, then already we're in good shape. We don't need a Reef to. And if they do have removal, this is better. Right, get rid of the Soul Scar. They do not shock in. Getting in for 1. I'll take 1. If they have another light, they have enough mana where it doesn't really matter. And they just pass back. Wow. Maybe they really do have nothing. There's a Harbinger. Okay, I'll play out the Harbinger. That'll force the action, so if they attack, we'll definitely double block. Okay. So, yeah, I think it's reef time now. Bolt target us. Light up the stage, okay. So if they... Okay, that was pretty good. So now we'll just jump with 1 Harbinger. And if they do just play out the entity and... okay, there's the dart. Sack the dart, okay. That probably means they have a second one in their hands, right? Oh wow, Assault Strobe. That's, yeah, that's game. GG's. That's, haven't seen that, but that's very, very good. Very good in this situation, at least. Yeah, GG. On the draw here, 3 Harbinger, 1 Vesperal Arc, 1 Risen Reef. Interesting hands, but I think I'm going to keep it. We can kind of make it whatever kind of hand we want, right? Mystic Sanctuary, that's a good sign. And a 3rd land is great, so I'm going to get a Voice of Resurgence with this first Harbinger. Hopefully be able to slam our turn 3 Reef, and then kind of go off turn 4. This still could be a lot of things, but it does heavily imply blue control of some sort. Right, blue-white, at least. Okay, and they're just passing back. I'll start by attacking, and if the voice gets countered, it's not super big of a deal, because it only exists to protect the Risen Reef. So I really don't mind if this gets mana leaked or whatever. And, well, just resolves. Alright, Teferi bounce voice. We would be able to kill the Teferi and play Risen Reef. Let's see, this could be just a path, yep. Get that mountain. And they just pass back. Another voice. Yeah, I like that more. So I'm going to start by attacking, and then go Voice Harbinger for probably another Reef. Maybe another Voice. Actually, probably not the greatest idea, but yeah, I'll just get the Reef. Howling Fountain, they shock it in, so let's see what this is. Could be just cycling oh, they're just going to path the Voice. We'll decline to search. We do have a Reef on top and no more basics. But we do have this elemental now. Right, there's a forest. Supreme Verdict. That's great for us. Now we get to slam a Reef. We know it's going to resolve. Land would be great. Excellent. So now we'll play Vesper Arc, get 2 triggers. And go find maybe a 3rd Reef. That's kind of what I'm thinking now. Probably Thunderkin Awakener is better in this situation. But let's see what we get on the trigger. Smoke Raider. Yeah, I think just Thunderkin Awakener would be fine. Oh, I should have done those the other way around, just to potentially get a land, but it's fine. Not a super big deal. And they might have Field of Ruin anyways to shuffle it away, so So this probably is a Field of the Dead deck, because they do have a snow-covered plains and a regular forest. Normally you don't see that kind of inconsistency. There's a Jace and Jace Brainstorm. If they have a third path, this could be slightly not great, but still fine. I'd say we're still very in the lead. Vial is good. Start with a Reef and then go Awakener, Vial, assuming we draw a land. Perfect. We do get to kill the Jace here, and we get six Reef triggers. 6 more at least. And there's the Scoop. Control decks like that usually can't keep up that well. So I like Fulminators here. The kind of indication that they're a Field of the Dead deck makes Fulminator a lot more appealing, and because of the lack of Astrolabe, Fulminator gets a lot better because people play more non-basics. So I think I like this. Yeah, since it's in the 3-drop slot, I'll just take out 2 Soul Stoke. There's no threat of Engineer or Blood Moon, so I think just 1 is fine. And I'll take out one of the removal spells. It's just Uro that we care about. So I think I'll keep in the Spite Bellows to potentially recur it, and I'll board out the Shriekmaw here. Okay, this hand looks perfectly acceptable. Pretty much any lands plus Vial hand is acceptable in my opinion. This deck is just so mana efficient that Aether Vial is often just, double your mana. Let's see if they have anything for this. Okay, I didn't think so. Normally they board out the Force of Negations, so I'm not worried about it games 2 and 3. Can always get mana tithed. Alright, Cavern's great here as well, because now we get to force this Mariner through. They, of course, can still path to exile it, but that's fine. And Harbinger is a great draw here. Now we get to double Reef next turn, hopefully. They could path and then to Fairy Bounce Vial, which would be kind of rough. But then we get to Vial in the Harbinger and kill it. Looks like a Codal. Or Growth Spiral, yep. This might just be a Reclamation build. In that case, if we do lose this game, then I'll bring in the Wismare from the sideboard. But I still very much like Fulminator in this matchup, if it is Reclamation. There's an Uro. Let's see if they hit their 5th land. They do, okay. So now I can't double Skelemental them. They do have potential path there. However, I will double Reef. They do have an Uro next turn, but that's not too big of a concern. Okay, they might gust this Reef, but that just sets us back 1 turn. They would have gusted the Skelemental as well, and no gust, so there's another Reef, great draw. Get in with both. If they snap trait with the Mariner, I'm fine with that. Temple Garden tapped, okay. I think right there I should have image copied the Reef when they only had the Hallowed Fountain untapped, but I think I'll get the chance to when they escape Uro. No, not anymore. Let's see what this is. Our promise. Okay, so they're getting the Field of the Deads. They can get 2 of them and get 4 zombies. Field of the Dead has never really been a big issue for elementals to deal with. We can always omnath them for however much we want to. We're going to kind of go off next turn with triple reef. And then at that point, we'll have so many cards in hand and so many lands in play that even if they do sweeper us, I think the game is over right now. There's the Omnath. I'll save that for next turn. We'll kill him next turn. I think 4 reefs is a little too much. I think just 3 is fine. I'll go, oops, Mariner uncounterable. Or sorry, not uncounterable. I'll save that for next. Play this out. Okay, did not draw a Fulminator, and we cannot play it off the Harbinger. I guess I'll just run out the Soulstoke. It's not doing really anything otherwise. And that's another way we can put in Omnath if they deal with the cavern somehow. Okay, yep, like I said, we have 7 cards in hand. Even if they Supreme Verdict and continue to put more stuff into play, we'll rebound with Reef, Harbinger, Vesperlark, get back another Reef, and just kind of continue to go off. Supreme Verdict is really a minor setback when you have this many Reefs. There's front half of an Uro, okay. Didn't expect to see that, considering they can escape the one in the graveyard. More zombies. And we'll take all 8 damage from the zombies this turn, just because we don't expect them to get another turn. They are escaping in a row now. The most they can have is like a path or something like that. I will take up Aether Vial to 4 to play around Aether Gust with Omnath. So I'm gonna Mystic Sanctuary back. Our Promise, I guess. Growth Spiral. Okay, they declined. We'll take all of this. We do have all 3 Phantasmal images. Oh, sorry, excuse me, only 2. But we just need to find one to kill them. Okay. So I'll start off with the Voice of Resurgence, uncounterable. And if we find another cavern, we'll put it on illusion. Okay, they're gusting this. Since we have the Mariners out, I'll just put it on the bottom. It's done its job. Yep. So here, go Awakener. There's the Vesperlark. Can we play the land this turn? Nope. And there's a Fulminator, okay. Still have not found a Phantasmal image, but I think it's still safe to Omnath them now, because they'll be taking 9. Maybe I'll just play out of Harbinger. And I'm not going to search for anything just because we're looking for the image. We can do it again. Looking for 2 things, the image and the cavern. Or a image and a cavern. And image. Okay, there's the image. And I don't think they can have anything to interact with. Sorry, with the phantasmal image. I don't. If they if they spell snare an image, then good for them, I guess. I'll just put one counter on this, and then the rest of lands will go in our hand. Oh, yes, including that one. Now, spell snare is not an out for them. Oh, yes, we do have to do that. Draw one more card. Copy the Omnath, keep the illusion, and now, if this isn't enough, then we can get back the Omnath with our Awakener and deal however much damage we need to. Right, there's the game. Yep, so kind of an interesting control deck with Hour of Promise, but we can really easily go over the top of Field of the Dead. We just need to know what we're doing. And by that I mean play out 3 reefs. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the league. Thanks for watching it all, and yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Any sort of deck building considerations or any sort of misplays. As always, I really appreciate those. And yeah, that's all I have for you. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.